Hello everyone, this is Shiny Noctiles, and tonight I figured it'd be nice to stream some more 2004Scape for you guys. Figured it'd be nice to do. Just spent almost the whole day, or at least several hours, cleaning up my apartment, because I've been living in this apartment, or this garage apartment for over 6 years now. Or almost 6 years, and yeah, seems like they're gonna be finally inspecting my apartment on Tuesday. Just, I guess I'm gonna do like a quick walk around, but just cleaning the place was a good thing. There we go. Appreciate the like, whoever left it. No, I appreciate this. I appreciate it. You can tell how, uh, we bit, yeah, it looks really cool. Yeah, it took a wee while to clean up the place, but it was well worth it. I actually feel better after doing it, because, yeah, felt like it was, yeah, I don't know if you guys ever have that feeling whenever you clean like your home, like after a while, like you feel better after doing it. At least for me, I felt much better. It just felt like it was definitely well worth it. Yeah, hopefully Tuesday, whenever they do the inspection for the apartment, hopefully it will be pretty seamless. Um, Hello Hendrix, hope you're doing well today. Glad you could join the stream. Yeah, I was just talking about. Ugh, I spent several hours cleaning up or polishing up my apartment today because they're going to be checking or doing an annual inspection on it. Well, annual in the sense that annual for select apartments. So I've been living in this place for almost 6 years now. This is the first time I'm going through an inspection. It tells you how much I've enjoyed this place, living here for over 5 years now, or almost 6 years. I guess some people could live in an apartment, for as long as I have and not like the place, but thankfully I have really enjoyed, where I live. It's really been a good home and a good neighborhood, and yeah, it's definitely been a good experience, thankfully enough. And if things go well on Tuesday, I mean, it's not like a move out or because I guess like when they do like the annual inspections, I don't think it's like entirely the same as like a move out inspection. But anyways, maybe it is. I'm not sure. But yeah, like if things go well on Tuesday, and rent stays relatively the same for the next few years, I might just rent here for you know potentially a few more years. We'll see. Because I know, like 6 years, almost 6 years sounds like a long time already of living here, but it's been worth it, and I've been able to find ways of investing my money in. Some people will say, why haven't you bought a place yet? And I just tell them, well, even if you don't have all your money tied up in the stock market or in the in a house, you can still, invest that money in different outlets, like I do with my eBay store, and the money at the stock market, all that stuff. Ugh. So yeah, it's definitely been definitely been able to get it to work, thankfully enough. And yeah, yeah, it's crazy though how I've almost lived here for 6 years. It feels like it wasn't that long when I first, you know, went to see this place, to rent it. Um, and yeah, it's amazing how it's almost been 6 years. Really has felt like a good, really has felt like home, and that's probably why I've stayed in this place for so long now. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if you rent Hendrix or if you live with someone or own a place or whatnot, but I've learned, you know, when I first moved into this place, I really was more concerned about getting a place, or when I mean getting a place, I mean like buying a place. But I think the more years I've lived in this apartment, the more I've just kind of started settling in. Because I don't know what it is. It's just for almost 6 years, it just really has become a good home. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully you like the place that you rent as well, Hendrix. I've been fortunate enough to find like a nice, like it's a garage apartment, but it almost feels like a mini townhome, in a way. And it really is just, this really has been, really been a nice experience. We'll see how the inspection goes on Tuesday, but I have a feeling it's going to be alright. I have, the nice thing with the community here is it really does feel like a community, and I usually tend to get along well with the office staff and maintenance workers and all that. I have a maintenance worker named Tate, and he's always been there for me. And yeah, it's thankfully it's really quiet here too. That's the other thing too. It tends to be pretty quiet. So I really feel like it was just like meant to be, because I know like a lot of other people are don't always have like or not always like in the same situation in the sense that wherever they live, whether they own a place or they rent, it just doesn't really feel as much like home, or doesn't feel like it's as peaceful. But yeah, for me, I've been thankful enough to get a place that just has been affordable, peaceful. There's mountains and woods, you know, here, and we do have winters, but I actually enjoy them, even though sometimes they can be a little bit long. I feel like it's been nice, Although this winter we got more rain than snow, so um, and it's interesting because I grew up originally in a warmer, well, it's the same country, but you know, the weather in Florida, even North Florida versus you know, places like Idaho or Washington State is kind of um I mean, I would say at first I would say like it can get a lot colder here, but at the same time, there were days in the winter where it could get pretty cold in Florida as well, and that was because of the humidity. But that's also because I was in northern Florida, not in I didn't live in southern Florida, so or at least not for most of my life, anyways. Um, but I appreciate the additional like, but yeah, like I think the main difference here is that I feel like I don't know what it is here, but I feel like you remember the weather more here, or in the sense that how do I describe it? Because like when I lived in Florida, it's usually was pretty hot, especially in the summer. Um, I mean it can get pretty hot here too, but when it gets hot, it's kind of more of a dry heat. I think it's really the winters also that you remember more of. I mean, of course, the summers you remember because it can get hot in the summers here too. But I think it's the autumn and winters and just kind of traversing through it that kind of makes this place more memorable as well. I guess. Not saying the autumns and winters in North Florida were not memorable, but I don't know. It's just kind of a different kind of feeling, I guess. Um, but of course, I think the other thing too is that when I was in Florida, I was still kind of living at home, and for the majority of the time I've been living up here, I've been living on my own for the most part, at least. Um, but yeah, it's just been a good experience. It's been um, this place just kind of fit me like a glove, you know. Just it just worked out well, you know, and. Sometimes I know some people will go to many places to see what fits them, but ultimately this place has been fine enough, thankfully. Yeah, I like the winter too, been quite long this one, but all good, yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, I always kind of thought to myself, you know, I've been living here for a while now, or full time for almost 6 years now. And I really have gotten accustomed to like the colder climates rather. I kind of thought to myself, you know, people who grew up in colder climates but then moved to to warmer climates. I wonder if they experience the same thing where, you know, after, you know, because I know some people like my dad's partner. She grew up in Ohio when she was young, but then she moved to Florida, and she seems to kind of grown accustomed to the warmer weather in Florida. And so me, I kind of went the opposite direction where, you know, I grew up in a warmer climate and then moved to like a colder climate. And I don't know which is more common if is if it's more common for people to move from warmer to colder climates or from colder to, or from warmer yeah warmer to colder climates or from colder to warmer climates, yeah. Um, I mean, you know, I was kind of looking at the statistics about people visiting Europe, and it seems like most places that people visit in Europe tend to. I'm not saying all the places are entirely like like super warm or anything, but some of the top places were like Spain, France, Italy, uh, Greece. I didn't see Germany. I didn't see Norway. I didn't see Finland. I didn't see Sweden. I didn't see. Um, I don't know if I even saw the UK or Britain or Ireland. But yeah, it's just kind of interesting to like kind of think, you know, do people prefer to not even just move to, but do people just prefer to visit warmer areas in general, or I mean, maybe there's more to it, but yeah, I always kind of thought that in the back of my mind. There we go, 63 strength. Thanks, Hendrix. I feel like if I visited a Germanic or Scandinavian or Nordic country, I probably like it'd be neat to visit Norway one day because I feel like I get along well with people there. I mean, I know I've only talked to you online, Hendrix, and I've only seen Bjorn from Norway, from his YouTube videos, but I just feel like somehow I just click with people from there. Like, maybe not everyone, obviously, but I feel like the difference is like, I feel like, at least from what I've gathered from like you and Bjorn from Norway, not Bjorn, our other friend, that trio's KBD with us, but Bjorn from Norway. I feel like, and I noticed this too, not only Norway, but also Denmark as well. 'Cause I have a dentist who's Danish American, but he's also like Native American, Chilean, Inca, and Cree. It's pretty interesting stuff. Um, Cheaper for me to rent a somewhere else. Oh, nice. Hopefully that went well. I feel like because what I noticed when I watch videos of certain people from Germany, and I'm sure it's not everyone. I mean, I literally have an uncle. His name is German or Herman, but I think what the problem is just not every German, thankfully. There are some Germans that are like very sweet and very, they can still be strict, but they're like very sweet and kind. But there's like some Germans that just, they have like a, they have a stick in the wrong place. You probably know what I mean. And it's like, some people, make fun of people from France about being so uppity or being so, those French, they're too, and it's usually some people from Germany that will tend to do it, or even some people here, but they'll say, oh yeah, the French are too uppity, or they're not pleasant to be around with, but then you see videos of some people from Germany, and some of them are worse, actually, than even some of the people in France. I mean, I'm sure there's people in France that can be just as bad, but still, I just kind of noticed that when I kind of, observe things. Music a bit too loud. Oh, is it? Let me see. Oh, you know why. Okay. So, actually, I appreciate you saying that, Bjorn, because that actually makes me feel better, because usually the problem is the other way. I had Google Chrome's audio on 30 by accident, so sorry about that. But yeah, so hopefully you can hear me better now, or hopefully the music's not as bad. But yeah, like I feel like what I've noticed about people from Norway or Denmark, or even people with that ancestry that live here, even though I don't know if I've met anyone who call themselves a Norwegian American. Uh, Usually I notice people with Scandinavian ancestry, usually in the US, they won't like tell you like that they're Scandinavian unless if that you ask them. I feel like it's different than like people like German or Italian ancestry. Like they'll usually tell you what they are, but I notice people from Scandinavia or with Scandinavian ancestry, they tend to they won't really share it unless if you talk to them about it, or you know, it's just a little bit different. But anyways, so um, yeah, I just appreciate it, Hendrix. I just noticed people from uh, either with that ancestry or. And the nice thing I appreciate about Scandinavians too, at least maybe it's not every Scandinavian, but at least like Bjorn from Norway, because like there are some people from Europe and especially Ireland. I don't know about Germany or other places, but they'll be like, you know, if you, not all of them, but some of them will say, you know, if you have Irish ancestry but you weren't born in Ireland, or you weren't, or maybe some people in Germany might say that, you know, you're not of, you know, you're not part of us, or I don't know how to describe it. Even in Japan, sometimes it's like that, but not always. Oh, and I guess China and whatnot, but Korea. But what I noticed about at least Bjorn from Norway is that it just says, you know, if you have Scandinavian ancestry, or if you're interested in, you know, Scandinavian folklore, then you probably have a connection to Scandinavia. And it wasn't like, you know, you have to be you have to be born and bred in Norway to be, you know, considered Norwegian. No, it was more like, no, if you have like an ancestral connection to us, we still honor that connection, which I really do appreciate that kind of thinking, because it's very down to earth. It's not like, oh yeah, you know, I'm better, you know, I'm better because I I was born I was born in Norway and you were born in somewhere else, Timbuktu. Anyways, I told that to Bjorn from Norway, but I don't know. I just feel like people from Scandinavia, or maybe Norway, maybe it's not everyone, but I just feel like you guys are more down to earth. You guys don't have a superiority complex. I mean, maybe there are some people. I'm sure you know. I'm sure every place has at least, you know, some form of that. You know, some people who think like that. But I just feel like you guys are very um, down to earth, very yeah, just real people. I don't know how to say it. Like it's yeah, like I'm not saying other people are fake per se. I'm just saying you guys and I'm not trying to stereotype all of Norwegians or Danish people, because I know everyone's different. But at least people like, you know, you and Bjorn from Norway, you guys just tend to be real. Uh, and actually real, not this kind of nonsense where, you know, like, because some people from certain European countries, or from some people from Europe in general will say, oh yeah, you know, people from the U.S. are so fake, and then they themselves are fake, if if not worse. And they probably don't want to hear that, because then they'll be like, oh, you can't say that because, you know, you weren't born in Europe, and but that's just a whole bunch of that's a whole bunch of nonsense in my opinion. But no, like you guys really are like, and this, like, I really am being genuine about this. You guys really are just like the real deal. Um, oh wow, I don't know how that happened. Hold on. Yeah, like there's Like, I wish I could say it better, but I mean, I really mean it. Like, it's just, I don't know what it is. You guys just, excuse me. Because I noticed it with Bjorn from Norway that he's very down to earth. He's very, um, he talks to people, I don't blame him, when he hits his forehead with his hand whenever, there are people who talk about, believing that the earth is flat, and a lot of them from the US, and I don't blame him for that per se, but even he says, he tries to get out of the stereotype of people trying to like see all people born in the US a certain way, which I appreciate that. I appreciate Bjorn kind of seeing it like that. But yeah, he's just like I feel like um he's just very relatable. Maybe that's what it is. He's very relatable. Maybe that's why I feel the way I do. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Hendrix. Yeah, he's very relatable. Maybe you know, Bjorn actually looks. I mean, I never met my dad's father, Siggy Senior, and I learned the name Siggy comes from the Volsanga saga. But he just kind of had like a similar. I mean, I never met him in person this lifetime because I think he had already passed when I was born. But when I look at a photo of him, they just kind of seem to have a very similar energy to him. Like I feel like if they met in person, like they would probably get along well. Um, but yeah, it's just very real, very down to earth. It's almost kind of hard to like even like share it because it's like because you don't meet that many people like that. See, be right back. Just need to brush my teeth. No worries. Yeah, it's yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check in my ancestry when I get the results because they delayed it again because I guess what they've been having I guess with the sale they had in the winter 70% off, there were tons of people submitting their DNA samples, but yeah, I'll have to see how much ancestry I have from Scandinavia as well because I'm not exactly sure the percentage, but I do know like my dad got like a lot of deep dive matches to like it was like people particularly from like Denmark, from like the Dani tribe and some Viking ancestry, from Norway and Sweden. I'll have to check all that, but yeah, it's uh, it's interesting stuff because you know I. It's not often I mean, aside from of course Japan, because I feel like there's a reason why I say Raimu Japanese because I feel like it is part of me, and like my great grandmother Lita, my dad's maternal grandmother, did look similar to some Japanese women, like very similar, like, almost like they could be like sisters. And they also had like a similar way with like of how they would smile and laugh and things like that. So it's always nice to see. But yeah, Scandinavia is just like, or I guess in particular, like I don't know yet about Sweden because I don't know if I've met many people that identify as like a Swedish American, or I don't know if I met too many Swedes, but at least Denmark and Norway, I seem to. I guess Finland's another one too, but I just don't know that many Finnish people. Um, uh, but yeah, at least Denmark and Norway, it seems like it. So far, it seems to have been like a seems to be like a good connection. But I know my uncle Cherokee Japanese Herman would probably say he's very much into the five senses about meeting people in person. But I feel like you can still kind of get like I feel like you can still kind of get an idea of how you feel about someone, even if you just watch a video about them or even talk online. Like I still feel like you can kind of get like some like an initial interaction, and and honestly, like I think it's good, that people are able to, because in the States, people don't really talk that much about Scandinavia at all. Um, I don't know why. I mean, aside from like the recent news, of course, with Greenland and all that, but people just don't, um, whether it's ancestry, whether it's culture, I just don't know why many people just don't seem to have an interest in Scandinavia. I mean, you know, Germany can be neat and all, and I have an uncle named German Herman, but honestly, I think, when I look at the ancestry of my dad, really most of his quote unquote Germanic ancestry is really, I mean, aside from, well, there's Celtic ancestry as well, but Celtic is definitely more than just Germanic. I mean, some of the tribes, like the Belgic tribes, are like a mix of Celtic and Germanic, but most of like the ancestry that at least I would see more as Germanic for my dad is really mainly Scandinavian, and so I don't know, like, cause like I know there's some people that really connect a lot with Germany, like they're German. Like I guess they might have a saying, some German Americans are more German than the Germans themselves, but no, I've never really felt like that, and I don't think my dad and or my uncle have felt like that either. I know my uncle, he always talks about, what about Thor? You know? And there's probably some people in Germany that just they probably couldn't either care less or they probably don't even know who Thor is, but yeah, I just think the thing is that I don't know, because I have spoken to like a German from Germany before. He was from Bavaria, but he also kind of had a, well, I mean, I'm not saying like he had a stick in the wrong direction, but uh, and honestly, he might have been joking a little bit, but he did say like, Bavaria is the only place in Germany that matters, but I think that was also kind of a like just like a joke. Like I think he was just kind of being tongue in cheek there. Um, I think he was also interested in learning about the Icelandic language, which I thought was pretty neat. Um, but yeah, like, and then of course there's my friend Maffy as well. She was born in I think in Britain, but she has ancestry connected to France, and I think her dad lived in uh, Germany, I think, for a certain amount of time. And I get along well with Maffy as well, even though Maffy, I don't know if she does consider herself part German or not, though, but she does know how to speak Welsh, and I think she definitely considers herself Welsh. And maybe French. I'm not 100% sure, but I definitely get along well with her. Um, but yeah, like, um, I don't know, like, I've also noticed there's been a trend lately about a lot of people from the US wanting to move to Germany, and it's like they really want to become more German than the Germans themselves, and I don't know how I feel about it. It's just kind of it's just kind of yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing, I guess, but it's just I don't really know how to like I don't really know how to what to think about it, I guess. Um, like I don't know like if they move there because they're like, oh, Germany's going to be so much better than the US. And I'm sure there are some people who do think like that. Um, but honestly, even with all the problems the US has, of course, no place is going to be perfect. I still feel like this has been ultimately like a very good home, like, and a home that I'm thankful for. And of course, I have enjoyed, visiting other countries. Like I enjoyed visiting Japan, and I do want to go there again. I have enjoyed visiting Italy. I have enjoyed visiting Britain, or at least England. But I just never have felt like a need to um, like a need to like say like, oh, like I gotta move to Europe, or I gotta move to Asia, or I gotta move somewhere else because I dislike the U.S. so much. Like I've never felt like that. And maybe it's also because like I have ancestry, connected technically. Well, if you go back to like the Native American Japanese connection, that is connected to this land. Like the some of the original ancestors. Um, so there's that as well. But I don't know. Like I just I've never had this mentality um, that that this yeah I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, like um, yeah, no, I'm trying to find the words for it. Um, yeah, like I guess what I'm just trying to say is that um, I'm trying to see if I can find the words. Um, I think Bjorn from Norway would probably just say I'm kind of like a free spirit. Um, maybe like what he would mean when he would say that is you don't like to always you don't always like to follow the crowd. You like to honor yourself or honor who you are. And I guess maybe that's just what it is. Like I'm not I'm not gonna be one of those people that if someone makes if someone does a video about a skeleton living in a ancient civilization and a hundred other people do the same video format, that I'm gonna do something like that. I'll probably do something different. you know. Yeah, like when I see like Norway, I just kind of like there's more of like a free spirit there. Like kind of like here, honestly, or like where I'm living in the Pacific Northwest or inland Pacific Northwest. There's a very free spirit energy here. Um, and when I saw Norway, I saw something similar. And there have been, some groups that have tried to like strip away the free spirit, free-spirited nature of this area. But this area has always kind of bounced back, both the land and the community. And I think that's what I've noticed about Scandinavia. I guess at least Norway, and maybe also Denmark to an extent. That free-spirited energy, of I am who I am, and I'm not going to. Bjorn would probably say, "Oh." Speaking of which, our friend Bjorn logged in, but yeah, Bjorn from Norway probably would say, "I'm not going to bend the knee," and I respect that. I think that more people, like, it'd be nice if more people were like that, But yeah, it's yeah, there's just so many people that maybe this is just my opinion. There's so many people that struggle to either speak out or struggle to stand out or struggle to just honor who they authentically are, and maybe people from Norway or Scandinavia, maybe I don't know about Sweden because I haven't really met as many people from there, but at least Denmark and Norway, and it's particularly Norway, but I guess Denmark to an extent too. I just feel like people just they're not afraid to be themselves. I guess that's what it is. They're not afraid to, like, if everyone's wearing like a yellow shirt, like they're not afraid to like wear like a green shirt. Or if everyone's wearing a pink shirt, they're not afraid to wear a purple shirt. Makes me think of like people in Korea. It's like people say like everyone in Korea wears the same colored shirt and the same brand and all that. But yeah, no, it's kind of funny like how, and I know like I don't know if you're still watching Hendrix, but if you are, I know some people might say like, well, is that kind of behavior really that uncommon, for people to honor themselves and to be who they authentically are and all that? And I would say honestly, yes. Just because I feel like there's few people I know, at least as of yet, that really are like that, really are, that they really have that free-spirited, or rather being able to honor oneself authentically. And it can even come down as simple to like hairstyle. Like some people would rather, you know, if everyone's wearing a broccoli haircut and in the laser trimmed beard, they'd rather do that than grow their hair like how they might more so authentically want to grow their hair. Like for me, I've been growing my hair for over 2 years now, and I'm glad I have because I used to cut my hair all the time, and I never really allowed it to grow long. But I've been growing it for over 2 years now, and I've also been growing my beard, and it really has been a good, like a healing journey for myself. Like it's really, been just a good experience, good experience, and but there have been some people who have said, why are you growing your hair longer, or why grow your beard out like that? And I just say because it's just who I am. It's just, this is who I am, you know. And it's been nice to be able to just honor, that part of myself. Um, yeah. Speaking of which, let me see if I can get. It's just it's been a good thing. It's been a good thing. It's it's I just feel like it's kind of hard to find these days, to be honest. I feel like so many people would rather just do things like how everyone else is doing it versus. And I'm not saying you have to do everything differently, but at least have at least enough have enough of what makes you unique. Not feel like you're just kind of like another. I don't know how to describe it. Um, like just another person that just doesn't. Another person that thinks the Earth is flat. I don't know. Yeah. um. Oh, here we go. Arts and running. Hello, Bjorn. Hope you're doing well tonight. I don't know if Hendrix is still here. He might be. Um, I don't see him in game anymore, but he might still be watching the stream. I'm not sure. He has been here for a wee bit, but I don't know if he's still watching. Um, but yeah, welcome to the stream. I was just kind of talking about my thoughts on people from Scandinavia, particularly Norway and parts of Denmark, and how I just feel like people there, or even some people that identify that ancestry, even here in the U.S., just are very seemingly authentic people, or just kind of like down to earth people, and it's not something that I always see very often. Speaking of which, if going to Asia or East Asia, do I feel similar in the sense of people being authentic there as well? Um, I guess it depends on the person, because like there are some Japanese that I feel like are very authentic and very genuine, and then there are others that I kind of feel the opposite. Chinese, I feel like it's not that. I think with Chinese, it's not that there are Chinese that are not authentic. Um, but I guess that's the same thing too with some Japanese. That it's more like maybe like more sinister. Like it's not about not being authentic. It's like yeah, like I'm gonna one up you when you least expect it. But I guess that's like a different kind of energy. But then there are like some Chinese I've met that really are like very sincere. And I think I think with Koreans, the more I've learned about them, the more I've kind of understood that some of them are um, that they kind of take both they take some of the some of the I don't know if I want to say sincere, like they bring honesty with passion. I guess maybe that's a way to say it. Some of them, yeah. Um, yeah, but like, yeah, when I think of Europe, though, like again, I mentioned Scandinavia. Then I had mentioned Germany earlier in the video that I kind of made a comment that there are some people from Germany or even the U.S. that they always want to poke fun at the French, about, oh yeah, they're so arrogant, they're so uppity and all that. But then like you see like a German or even someone in the U.S. that's like that, if not worse than the French. And that I don't think that's an exaggeration, honestly. Um, Even though I know there might be some French that can be pretty bad, but honestly, I think there are some that are worse. that that are not always just French. Um, but yeah, like and then when I think of Britain and Ireland, it's like a mixed bag. It's like some people can be, genuine, but others are, they also kind of have the stick in the wrong place. um, and then when I think of Spain, Portugal, Italy, well, I guess Spain, parts of Spain are also connected to France as well, but it's like kind of like similar to my mom, but I feel like there's more of a, in Spain at least in particular, is more of like a being direct with what you say, or I guess what I mean, it's like it's like that. Maybe it's like different than like the word frank, but it's like direct is like you know, how was your day, or how or what do you think of this topic, or what do you think of that topic, or what's your opinion, or what is this, or what is that? It's more like very informative, very information. Yeah, very much information seeking. Be very direct. Makes me think a bit of my Welsh friend Ben. Um, um, the interesting thing too is a lot of Japanese really enjoy learning Spanish. It flatters me because um, it's always kind of nice because I do speak more than one language. I mean, maybe not you know to the same fluent uh, fluency or the same amount of fluency uh, as maybe I can with English, but I do know how to speak some Spanish and a little bit of French and some Japanese. And it's just kind of nice, like to see the Japanese really, out of all the languages, it seems like they really just take a liking to Spanish, and it's nice. Like some of them become very fluent. Like I'm honestly impressed, with how fluent they become. And I know some are not. I know some are like, well, that's just. I mean, I give credit where credit is due, and I don't believe the stereotype about, because some people, they have a stereotype of, well, Asians are so smart anyways, so like like I think that's not really an excuse, or like or I think it's just like a stereotype to kind of downplay an achievement that I think is honestly um should be noteworthy. That's for me, when I see other Japanese, being very fluent in a language like Spanish, like I really take that to heart. It's like wow, like you really um, learned it well. But yeah, I don't know what it is like with people, and some people uh in their kind of view on Asians, like it's like whenever there's like a massive achievement, like they try to downplay it just because they're Asian. That doesn't make sense to me. It's like it doesn't matter if they're Asian or not. I mean, an achievement's an achievement. I don't like, if I recognize an achievement, like whoever it was done by, like I respect that. Um, 'Cause some people could say the same thing about, like, people from Africa. Some people might say, well, he's from Africa, so that's why he's such a good runner. And I would probably say no, like, if he's a good runner, he's a good runner, and that should be respected. And but yeah, like anyways, I feel like um, what I notice about the Japanese when it comes to learning or kind of trying to be or learn other cultures or try to spend time with or even languages, I notice that they tend to really tend to dive deep into it. Whether it's them, learning how to speak Spanish or them um, spending time with people in different countries, whether it's certain parts of Latin America or Mexico and south of the border, or just they just really um, they tend to, or even like when they visit Spain or Portugal, they tend to really because I feel like some people have this idea in their mind that all Japanese, they're all xenophobic, they all hate gaijin foreigners. Uh, maybe even some of them think some Japanese are stuck up, and that part I don't argue with because I feel like some are, but I also think like if you point it out to them, then they also not all. I mean, of course, some Japanese might be stuck up regardless, but I'm sure there's plenty that would say no, like I can do better. But yeah, it's oh, welcome back, Hendrix. I don't know if you've been watching this whole time or if you just came back, but yeah, I'm just kind of talking about like with Bjorn, about my thoughts on Europe, my thoughts on Asia, and like I feel like they're the Japanese or other Japanese, because it's technically part of me too. Like it's that's why I'm the Rainbow. Like even if it's just like whether it's 100% or 1% Japanese, it's still part of my ancestry. But um, I guess what I'm trying to say is like um, I guess what I'm trying to say is like people don't. I think people just try to put people in a box, and then they try to say, okay, you're this way, and that's not really how it is. I feel like there's a lot more Japanese that are more authentic, more sincere, and more interested in other cultures than people give them credit for. You know, And I even had to tell that to my Vietnamese American friend when I went to Japan about how other Japanese took a liking to me. And he's like, well, they just did that because you were paying them. And I said, no, like they really did take a liking to me. And yeah, I just think it's like a stereotype. People, they want to put everyone up in, they want to put everyone in a box and say, you're all just this one way, but that's not how it always is. And but yeah, it's and I've noticed that not only with the Japanese but even the Koreans. Um, and I guess the box that or what some people might think is, well, the Koreans, they just only want to be 100% Korean and they don't want to mix with anyone else. And then there probably are some Koreans who aren't like that. But I've noticed, the more I've learned about them, the more I've noticed, a lot of Koreans really do appreciate um, other people than just being, you know, only 100% Korean. And yeah, I think that's another thing and maybe that's why they have channels like World Friends about all these different cultures coming together, because maybe deep down that's what the Koreans really are looking for. That they don't just want to be 100% Korean forever. I mean, I'm sure, you can still have people that, for example, that are, still can be 100% Korean, or oh, you don't want to get inbred or bred in, if sometimes it can be taken too far. But no, I think like deep down, like they really do want to kind of bring more people in, kind of like Japan, but in a different way. I feel like the Koreans, I think like their way of bringing people in, like, is I think like the Koreans are really into like pop culture. Like pop culture is like, I think, kind of like the way to bring people in for them. And I guess Japan has a bit of that too, like through anime and manga, but I think like Korea, it's more like, hey, like, welcome to our channel, World Friends, and yeah, like we want you to live in Korea, and we're not going to take you hostage now, but no, I don't know. I don't know why I have this feeling in the back of my mind that like the Koreans, it's like welcome to our country. Uh, don't be shy about staying here for a little bit longer. It's different than Japan. I feel like Japan, the Japanese are tend to be more, we like you here, um, but we don't mind, well, I'm sure there's some Japanese that wouldn't mind you staying longer, but I think it's like a different energy where it's like Korea, it's like, yeah, you said you were gonna be here for 3 days. Well, it might turn out to be a week. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You watch any Asian dramas or shows? Well, I mainly the main Asian shows I watch is anime. Now, I know some people would say, well, that doesn't count as a show, and I would say, well, if you're Japanese, it does. But maybe the Koreans are like, I'm talking about live action. And I'm like, well, I said, well, that's what you're good at then in Korea. Well, okay, no, to give Japan credit, we do have the One Piece live action, and that's pretty good. So, but and I think that is directed by like Eiichiro Oda, another team, but yeah, like um, I feel like the Koreans are very it's like my uncle, like the five senses. They're very much about interactions, like in person, and I feel like the Japanese are more. They like to interact not only in person but also like through drawings or through games or through just other outlets. Um, the Chinese, I feel like the Chinese could go both ways. Like I feel like they can, like I'm sure some of them, do like interacting in person, but I'm sure some of them are also fine doing interacting in other ways. But I feel like definitely the Koreans, I feel like they're probably more about interacting in person, I would probably say. Um, but yeah, like it's interesting. Um, it's kind of funny because I think about not only my uncle but even like my tax accountant, and he does my taxes. He's been stellar. But he'd keep saying, excuse me, he'd keep talking about going to the office in person when I told him, I that I've been doing taxes online with him for so long now, and it's worked out great. And I told him, if you want to meet in person, we don't even doesn't even necessarily have to be about taxes. Like maybe if it's just like, and then he said recommended, well, if you ever would want to get a bite to eat one day or whatnot, we could always do that. I said, yeah, we can always, yeah, sure, that's perfectly fine. And yeah, I guess I know there are some people that really feel a need to like talk in person or like really use those five senses, as my uncle says. And of course, I believe there's more than five senses. People always talk about it like a sixth sense, but But I guess I've been fine like doing it out of the way. You a fan of Dragon Ball? Yes. Uh, I'm sure there are fans in Japan or Mexico that might be even more of a fan than I am. But no, I do I love Dragon Ball because I like because I know there are some Chinese that will say and I do feel for some Chinese because they're like, Japanese have K-pop. I mean, no, Japanese have anime and manga. Koreans have K-pop. What do we Chinese have? I say, well, I know Dragon Ball came from Japan, but there's a lot of inspirations in Dragon Ball that is connected to China, and not only, modern China, but going back to like the ancient history. And I always kind of thought Shenlong or Shenlong was I learned in English you say Shenron, but the Japanese actually say Shenlong or Shenlong in Japanese, and I think the Chinese pronunciation I think is it's pretty similar, I think. Um, oh, nice. Yeah, but like but I always thought it was kind of like cool, like kind of like the inspiration for that, and then kind of the Tenkaichi martial arts. I don't know if that also originated in China as well or whatever, but that was also pretty cool. My dad always had like this fascination about Chinese. He'd always go like to the hole in the wall Chinese restaurants. And honestly, they weren't that bad. They weren't that bad. They were actually pretty nice. Because I'm not really into Chinese food that much. I know some people are crazy about the Chinese buffets. I just never really could get into them that much. I do like the art in there, but I don't know why. I just couldn't really get into it. Um, but the hole in the wall places weren't too bad. Where my dad would go to take Yachty, they would serve him general. He was always about the general chicken and the broccoli and the rice, and it wasn't that bad. Honestly, that wasn't too bad. But yeah, I think my favorite the Chinese food I've enjoyed the most has probably been like the homemade Chinese food, like the food you get when because my mom had a Chinese friend that they invited us for Chinese New Year's, and they made us homemade Chinese food, and that was really good. Uh, that was that's probably like my best experience with Chinese food is like the homemade food. Um, love me some hot and sour soup. Yeah, and again, I try not to like honestly, I think the people who get offended about me not liking the Chinese buffet food is not even the Chinese themselves. Like, it's mainly people who are not Chinese, but they really like the buffet. And then when I tell them I'm not always into it, like they're like, "Why? Like, why? Like, it's the best." And I'm like, "Well, you might think it's the best, but for me, it's just don't really vibe with it." And it's crazy, like how Chinese they don't even get mad about it. Like they're just like, yeah, like, that's. um, I just like the homemade food. I guess like that like if I if you told me like hey, let's eat Chinese, I'd say, well, if you could get some of that homemade Chinese food, then I'm fine with it. But um, like even though I do like Japanese food a little bit more than Chinese food, I will say I will make an exception for the homemade Chinese food because that that was actually really good. Like really was. But yeah, and I haven't really tried enough Korean food yet to really kind of give my opinion about how I feel about Korean food in general. I've only tried a little bit, like the Korean barbecue chicken. Um, But yeah, I just maybe eventually I'll spend time with more Koreans. But I feel like my main experiences with Asians have either been Chinese, Japanese, um, like because I feel like I get along well with Japanese and Chinese. You don't. If I don't get along well with a Chinese person, it's not even because I feel like most Chinese people, if I don't get along with them, it's not because they genuinely don't want to get along. It's just they might have a sinister personality, kind of like Orochimaru or Kabuto, like some of them. But then like when they get to know me, it's kind of like no, like we're sorry, like we want to do better. And so it's not even that they want to genuinely be malicious. It's just they kind of have like a certain way of thinking about things. But then after spending time with me, like they're like, no, like we want to do better. And that's what it usually is with them. Like it's either we gel well, or if we don't, they want to do better. And sometimes I can do better as well. It's not necessarily all on them, but and then with Japanese people, there's Japanese that I get along well with super well, and then the ones who I don't get along as well with. There are some Japanese that there's that same energy like with the Chinese where they have that sinister energy, but then when they get to know me, it's like, well, like we don't really want to be like this with you. Like we can do better. Like gomen or in Japanese they probably would say gomenasai, you know, or sumimasen, gomenasai. And it's like that similar energy. Like they want to do better, and even though like some of them might feel like they're sinister by nature, when they have time, when they spend time with me, it's they kind of like no, like we want we want to do better, and that was something I noticed about my Vietnamese American friend or contact, where even though at first he would sometimes say, your kindness is like venom to me. It's like it's something it reminded me of like Plankton from SpongeBob. Like Plankton, there's that episode where SpongeBob was showing kindness, and Plankton like really struggled with that. But and I feel like my Vietnamese American friend or contact was similar in that way too. But after a while, like I think deep down he did appreciate, our connection, or just like, because one time he did say like, and I really think he meant it. He said, Jem is one of the kindest people I've ever met, and that really always kind of stuck in my mind. I was rewatching some old Naruto episodes, and man, are they so yeah. Well, One Piece is kind of like that too. So it just is what it is. But yeah, like I guess what I'm trying to say is like at least with like Japanese, Chinese, and even Vietnamese, if there is that sinister, and maybe even Koreans too, because even though I feel like I haven't met as many Koreans as I'd like to, I still feel like I can kind of put them there. Like I feel like if they have that sinister energy, or that energy that like, yeah, I'm gonna stab you in the back, once I can't, like once I get an advantage. But wait, no, I don't want to do it to Jem, because I feel like if I stabbed him in the back, then I would stab myself in the back. I feel like I'd stab myself in the back. Um, like that kind of energy. It's kind of like, no, like we really want to do better, and that's how it usually is. Yeah, you take it easy, Jem. I'm gonna take off. Good luck on clues. Oh, thanks, Bjorn. But yeah, hopefully this kind of makes sense. Like, hopefully it's not too convoluted. It's just that's what I've noticed with people from Asia in general, or even people in with ancestry connected to the Americas, that still have ancestry connected to Asia. I've noticed that kind of like that energy where it's either we gel really well, or if we don't gel well, it's like they go through like a self-improvement arc. And I guess we all go through that, sometimes we want to do better, but yeah. Um, and honestly, like I kind of appreciate that about, whether it's the Japanese or some Chinese or some Koreans or Vietnamese, like just that kind of that drive to, want to do better, that like, if you feel like you're connected to someone, but you feel like something's wrong, and things can be better, like, trying to like kind of actually make that healing change, or that improve, or that, that um how do I say it, like just kind of, bringing that healing change to yourself or another, like I feel like that's like really a beautiful thing, actually. Because like there are some people who really, couldn't care less, like if they saw you falling off a cliff, but but yeah, like it's just like one of those things where that's just kind of what I've noticed with them. Um, there are some people that really just, they don't give a they they don't give a they don't give a excuse my language, but they don't give a damn about about you know like for example, like, there are some people who might uh like if you're how do I describe it, uh like it like how do I word this, um I don't find the words for it. Yeah, there's just like some people that just don't, um I guess have something called like common courtesy. I'm trying to find the words for it, but it's it could be something as simple as, um trying to think, something as simple as trying to find the words for it. Like there's some people who might say like, yeah, like we're better because we um trying to find the words for it. Yeah, like I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, it's just like maybe common courtesy could be like some, I guess like some people just don't have like common courtesy, like, or maybe there's just like another way to describe it. Yeah. Like there are some people, like this is probably a good example where, you know if you bought them like a $600 gift, they might say, well, why didn't you buy me a $6,000 gift? And I would say, be glad you got a gift at all. Especially a $600 gift to begin with. That's already, quite a big gift as it is. But someone to say, you know, why didn't you get me like a $6,000 one? You know, that's even more so. Uh, Ooh. Yeah, I think some people think that they are what is it? Some people believe that everyone should kind of, you know, kneel down to their feet, and that's just kind of that doesn't take you very far in the long run, especially if you don't even really have that genuine energy to begin with, you know, like that genuine energy of those around you respecting you actually, or actually respecting you. So, Tuna Quest is on, but yeah, that's I think that's the best way to describe it. I don't know if I'm struggling to find words today, guys, just because I spent so many hours, you know, polishing up my apartment, or if it's just because of just how the day's been going. But I appreciate you guys bearing in there with me. I'm actually glad I spent time cleaning up my apartment because or polishing it up because even though I did it mainly because of the planned inspection on Tuesday, I still felt like it was worth it, you know, because it just feels like a lot like the energy of the apartment just feels like a lot better now after cleaning it a little bit or polishing it a little bit more. And I know that's something that I've heard about, you know, some of the Japanese say about how really the energy of your environment um, can really impact your own energy. And I really have kind of seen that now in action. Like before, I didn't think about it much, but now I can see it better. Like that, you know, that kind of manifesting, you know, like it kind of it clicks more now. The name of legends to the quest. Always feels good to do it. Yeah, it definitely does, but I really feel it now. Like I can because I watched this YouTuber named Azumi Kaya, which is talking about kind of like, you know, the emotional state of one's being, and just talked about how really the you know how your environment is can really affect, you know, your own energy at times, and I can see it. I can see it better now. Ooh. You know, always kind of thought it was kind of like, you know, deep down like a kind of a gift that, you know, even though the majority of my ancestry is European, they kind of have like that also that connection to like both Asia and the Americas, like the kind of like that Eastern, well, some people see it as Eastern, but I can also kind of see it as Western in the sense that if you look at Japan and instead of going west, if you go east, then really then Japan becomes the west then, or becomes like the far west, and then east from Japan would be like the Americas, so like the cultures that are still there and are still here, and then Western Europe, which would be like uh, Spain and France and Britain, Ireland, and like I guess Scandinavia too, because uh, there's also been that connection as well. Come on now, no, let's nah, come on now, meh. Come on now, meh. Literally just training. But he's not even on the Discord anymore. You left. Don't worry. Take care. That's crazy. Honestly, I'm not too upset about that. It's literally just level 2 wild, and he's still like, yeah. He must have been mad when I KO'd him in Edgeville. It probably that bonus match with me using a regular air staff was probably not enough for him after he took down Argio with that black, using his black axe. I kind of felt for Argio because I really wanted Argio to win, but yeah, like, yeah, it's whatever, I guess. Good thing I brought Ring of Life. Like that could have helped me out, but no, I think it was better just just to do what we did there. Oh shoot, I really got like a lot of herbs I can sell. I don't know if you're still on Hendrix, but if you wanna buy some ore from me or some bars or some herbs, I got them here. I usually like to keep one in stock because um, it just helps me put like a bank placeholder. But if you want to buy like some Terramins, some Harlanders, some Marin's Hills, some Renars, I can finally identify those now. Then yeah, know that. Oh yeah, and then some other unidentified higher tier herbs. You can do that as well. I don't know. I don't know if Matt was even watching the stream or not. But yeah, that's still crazy. He wanted to do the replay in what is it, Red Dragons, but it didn't pan out for him. I'm honestly not too upset about that. Not honestly too upset about it this time. It's kind of silly. But maybe I wonder if I should wear anything different. No, I think we're fine. He is watching the stream. There he is. The menace. Alright, Hendrix, if you want to meet me in World 5, I got some herbs for sale, if you want to buy them. And I also got some ore. Got 15 coal, I got 20 iron ore, and 23 iron bars. There he is, the legend. Yeah, note to self, next time I see meh. I don't know if I'll see him again, but if I do, when I'm fighting thugs and he's just standing there, I'll just just go to the gate and should be fine. Yeah, I got tons of herbs, Hendrix. Tons of herbs. And Renars are going for like 6.6, 6.7k now. They really have gone up. Harlanders are going for wow, they've also gone up 2.9. Wow. 2.8. Guams 500. Marintils 280. Terramin 500. Okay, no worries. Yeah, yeah, Matt, like I'm honestly surprised you still want vengeance even after you got RGO and I. Well, I know it was a bonus match, but I thought that was all right enough for you. But you probably were like, yeah, that didn't really count. Like he didn't even use a battle staff against me. But yeah, that's crazy how you're still salty about getting hit by a 27 Guthix claws in Edgeville. You're like, damn, like I can't believe Gem got me. Like I he's probably like that should have been my victory. That should have been my PK. And then like, nah, not not today. Yeah, we gotta bring Argio back. Argio is the legend. He is the legend, the legendary Black Axe wielder. Yeah, I should have brought that, honestly. I thought Argio, like I was really rooting for Argio. I was like, come on, Argio. You got this KO and you took him out. And, and I didn't realize you had so much food left as well, but well, I also forgot like I didn't realize how high your combat stats were because you were also I think playing your main, but yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, hopefully you can use all these herbs Hendrix. I know it's a ton there's a ton of them. There's like the guabs, yeah. A lot of Harlanders too. I've been saving up those for a while as well. We just have a healthy rivalry as all being both combat. Yeah, this is true. Yeah, you're honestly, Matt. You remind me also. There was I'm trying to remember his name, but there was like another guy like just like waiting in the Edgeville dungeon, just kind of like waiting for his chance to get someone, and you're almost like that, but you just like instead of just like waiting in that world for like 30 minutes to an hour, you just literally just like hop straight in, and it probably doesn't help that you can just watch my stream and you tend to have a good idea of what world I'm on. Well, there's only four worlds, so there's not that many worlds you can hop to, but yeah. So let's see here, 500, 280. Okay, wait. So so determine Guam, until okay, for like 55, 60K. Arlander is like 140. Raynor, that's yeah. Okay, yeah, that's right. Sounds about right. Yeah, what would I lose if I? Because I'm thinking if I should bring anything else. Put that on. Honestly, I don't lose that much magic. I think I might start just using this setup. Oh, let me got some cake, slice of cake. Get some climbing boots. Hello, Dutch Masters Enjoyer. Hope you're doing well. Glad you could join the stream. Yeah, maybe eventually. Actually, that might be something worth looking into. Because I think climbing boots, I think they give you strength bonus, don't they? Yeah, +2 actually. Okay, that's pretty cool actually. I'd have to do Death Plateau though. But I don't think that's too bad of a quest though, because I've done that quest many times before in the past. Yeah, we'll, we'll look into that. Oh, those will definitely be worth it for the PvP build. Alright. Yeah. No, I've done the quest before. It's been a bit. I have to be careful with Matt now because even though he's on the same world I'm on, like oh, Well, actually, that's good because now that I know he's on the same world that I'm on, then if he does try to come in again tonight, which I don't know if he will, but uh, I'll be able to kind of prepare for him better. Just always have to have the thugs aggroing me. Could also bring runes technically too. I didn't think about that. Like just like a. Well, I'd have to bring that to be like three slots though. Because there's no tele block, so. Well, I'd only have to bring like, what is it? 5 air runes and a law rune to teleport to Kami. I think we should be fine though. Hope you guys are still all enjoying the stream, by the way. Yeah, well, they usually drop law runes anyways, so maybe it might be worth bringing some air runes with us. I could save the Ring of Dueling slot too. I could just, instead of using Ring of Dueling, I could just use teleport to Cammy and then could just bank there. Armor now, you think it'll be enough? Well, if you're only using mage and range, it should be fine. Oh, make it to where you won't hit as hard. And if I bring teleport runes, then you know if you do hop in, I can just teleport out and it should be fine. Or for anyone else for that matter, not even just you, because again, there are other people out here, so. Plus, you're the one who also recommended the Ring of Life, so that's always another nice backup. It could just seem meh, just like he's just waiting out of the gate for like 30 minutes. Yeah. I mean, it's only level 2 wild, it's not like I'm in like deep wildy, you know. And it's not multi either, so it's only like one person. Just so you must be so so salty after that KO in Edge. I'm not even salty about like. Well, maybe I'm salty about RGO losing, but not myself really, because it was just a bonus round, you know, to kind of help RGO a little bit. Yeah, I felt for RGO in that stream. I was like, come on, RGO, you can do it. But yeah, it happens so. Oh, we're getting there. Well, it's also because I didn't really. I mean, I alped a little bit to 80 magic, obviously, but I also a lot of that mage training was also mage and dragons, and you do get HP from that. He just wants all the herbs. Wants all the herbs. He wants all the bars. And I'm like, they go to people like Hendrix and other people for a reason. want your bones. Can always bury the bones of the thugs. Oh yeah, yep, I know what he's doing. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Nah. Nah. Nah, we're not playing this. We're not playing this again. As soon as I saw him walk out, I'm like, nah. And I have pretty much full inventory, so. That's crazy. Unless if you logged out for the night, but I don't think you logged out yet. Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. Then he's gonna start posing as one of the thugs. Appreciate all the likes, by the way. That means a lot. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking in my mind if Matt's spending so much time just kind of waiting, waiting that PvP and or waiting the chance, not even the PvP but the PK and level 2 Wildy, it's like, well, you know, what else he's doing? What else is he doing in the meantime? I mean, I honestly wouldn't mind, you know, PvPing here in Edgeville Dungeon if it wasn't it, like if not the if not straight like an edge, you know, like in this area, like I'd be fine with that. But probably wants to get my strength up a bit more. I don't even know if Matt is still watching the stream, if he actually did actually genuinely log off. I don't know. Oh shoot. Devlin, did you talk earlier? Nice. I think I'm gonna just stream a bit more meet Devlin, and then I think I'm gonna end the stream here soon, guys. We actually haven't gotten one clue in the whole entire stream, which is fine because we've gotten fairly gotten a fair amount of easy clues in our past streams, sometimes 4 to 5 at a time. Oh, no. Elson Andrew. You might actually be off for the night. It's amazing how much gold I've made at Thugs. It's Been a good place to train and a good place to make a decent amount of gold. I think I've made almost 2 mil from here so far, or at least a decent amount. It's like at the Dragons and Daemons. That's not even getting, not even from getting anything crazy from the easy clues. Aside from the black X's, of course, we always take those. Never have it, never have enough, too many herbs, I guess. We're always using them. One there. Yeah, oh, yeah, nice. The legend. The legend. Let's go. The legend. Yeah, I've sold a lot of Dragon Bones and Dehides to Yeah Nice as well as other stuff I believe, but yeah, he's always fairly nice. No pun intended. I think I'm gonna get some good sleep tonight. Oh shoot, I need to put a code in. No. See. Oh, this might actually go well with my Gothics build as well. Not sure what the pair's for, but oh, give me a sec. Alright guys, I think I'm gonna end the stream. It's an uncommon item to refill your true pouch. Oh, nice. That's pretty cool. Thanks for letting me know, H2D. Well, anyways, guys, I think I'm gonna end the stream. I'm gonna get some good sleep tonight. Really cleaning up my, polishing up my apartment definitely helped a lot. But, yeah, I think we'll, take care. Bye for now, guys.